Please stand and join me in the Girl Scout promise while we open the meeting tonight. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. Hey, thank you for joining us again tonight. Just bear with us as we get a few things ready to go.
Can y'all hear me or see me? Somebody please let me know.
Loretta, I can hear you here in Zoom. And we can see Ashley's PowerPoint presentation. So if you are prepared to just move forward,
Yes.
we can see the presentation and hear you.
Okay, wonderful. I don't know what, first of all, let me just say, I don't know what happened, you all, but I do apologize. I was in the wrong meeting. It was just me and other staff members. So I do apologize for that. Jessica, have you already did the Girl Scout promise?
Yes, ma'am, I sure have.
Okay, well, let me just say, volunteers, it is so nice to see all of you here tonight. And we want to talk about our accomplishments this year and what we have done this year. And our accomplishments with the Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois have been energizing, and we will continue to focus on building the leaders for the futures. Again, I want to say thank you to you volunteers for your important contribution and expertise to this program. I am not kidding. I really appreciate your efforts. Thank you again for your time. We have a full agenda tonight, but before I go on, if there's any board members that are here, I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. But we have a full agenda for you tonight. Jessica and I will give you an update on the state of the council. So I ask that if you would save your questions until the end, as I want to give you enough time and enough space to ask your questions. First, we will not only give you an update on where we are with our programs as a whole, but we also want to give you an update on membership, on our finances, and our fundraising, because as you know, we have been moving forward to having a premium Girl Scout experience for girls. Why do you do this, Loretta? Why are we all in doing this? To make us better and to carry out our mission, to build girls of courage, confidence, and character, who's making our world a better place. I'm excited about our council because we are more, I feel, unified and stable than ever before. Let's talk about our membership. Our membership numbers continue to increase. As of today, we are at 108% of our overall membership goal for 2023. Give yourselves a round. That's great. And to make matters even better, we are over 60% of our 2024 membership numbers. Now, these numbers include girls and adults. Girls and adults. So let's talk about finance. I promised at every town hall meeting that I would keep you up to date on our finances. We have our finance department have a fractional CFO. His name is Ron Burgess from Archford Consulting. And as you all know, many of you may know this, many of you may not know this, but our national organization, GSUSA, requires our council to have at least 6 months of reserves. To give you an update on where we are with our reserves, we are at 19 months of reserves, 19 months. We have come a long way to get where we are with our finances. Now, as far as this current year, although we are projecting a year end to end this year with a deficit of $255,000. Now, I want you all to note that last year we ended the year with a deficit of over $500,000. So as you can see, we are moving in the right direction. And if we continue to make progress, we will hit perfection, because operations goal is to balance the operational budget without a deficit. Now, many of you have been voicing your concerns about parent debt. And parent debt, that money that is owed to the troops, whether it's through cookie sale or a program or whatever the case may be. You have voiced your concern, and it's been an ongoing issue. Leaders, you try to collect the money with no resolution, but I want you all to know that I am not taking a blind eye to this. We are looking at this and planning to implement ways to correct this issue so troops can receive their funds and not have to wait for the funds to be collected. So bear with us, and we are looking at this. So now let's talk a little bit about product program. Can you believe that it's already getting close to Girl Scout cookie season? It's right around the corner. As Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois enters the early stages of planning for 2024 season, we want to inform you of the cookie prices for the upcoming season and how this will impact everyone involved. Now, as I indicated to you in past meetings, we have that we will have a price increase this year. And I know Katie has shared this news with many of you already. Now, due to the raising of the price of everything, the cost of cookie supplies, transportation, the Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois cost for Girl Scout cookies, along with cookie rewards, is being increased this year. And as a result, the retail price for the Girl Scout cookies for 2024 season will be $6 per box. Now, that's including specialty cookies. All boxes will be $6. The Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois is committed, though, to maintaining the percentage of how cookie proceeds are distributed. So this change will have a positive impact for our members and their earnings. We look forward this year to a very successful cookie season, and we are excited. We are very excited for you to join us in this initiative. Now, let's talk about property. This year, we have done a massive amount of work at Camp Torquay. We even did a special fundraising event at Camp Torquay this year. Now, I'm going to ask Ashley to showcase some of the upgrades that we've been working on, which includes a new shower house. Ashley, would you showcase that for us? As you can see, this is a new nurses station. This building has already been up, and we remodeled it so it can be a nurses station. As you all know, we did resident camp. We have to have a nurse when we do camp. So the nurses station, beautiful pictures of it. And this is our new shower house. If you have not been to Camp Torquay and look at all the upgrades, I encourage you to go, because these are wonderful upgrades. Look at, we can have double the number of girls that we used to have at camp. Beautiful shower house. This is the outside of the shower house. And we had a very generous donor to donate money for us to put up new signs. So you can see that you can read them very well, where the old signs was getting a little old, but now you can see the signs very well. Lots of things are happening at Camp Torquay. New trails, where if we had some people that had a disability, we have new trails for them to go back and forth or wherever they need to go at camp. And we were able to do this with a grant that we got from Madison County. And the staff said that they wanted a butterfly garden. Now, this butterfly garden is because the staff decided that they wanted to have their name on something at camp. And so this is a beautiful butterfly garden. And as you can see, that's all the staff standing behind it. But the volunteers, you are the one who plant the flowers along with some staff. And we want to thank you for that. Many, many other things are happening at Camp Torquay. Again, I encourage all of you, if you have not been out there, to do so. I am so excited. Many of you said this to me when we said we were going to keep one camp. And many of you said to me, Loretta, we need a lake at camp. And I said, well, let's dig a hole. And many of you said, well, if you can make that happen, we will be really, really happy. Well, I'm excited to tell you that the board of directors just approved for us to dig that hole, so that we can have a lake out there, something that a lot of you have been asking for. So stay tuned. We'll keep you posted about what's happening with the lake at Camp Torquay. Now let's talk about resident camp. We did our first resident camp this summer, and we had excellent reviews from our summer program. Now, I know I stated this to you before, and I'll say it again. No one does it better than Girl Scouts. We had 2 full weeks in June and 4 weeks in July. And we will be opening it up again. Or is this next year, Jessica? We're going to have 2 full weeks. Next year, we're going to have 2 full weeks in June and 2 full weeks in July.
Right.
And registrations is going to be opening up in January. Let's get those girls signed up. Let's get them signed up, because again, we are building it and we are hoping that the girls will come. Now, I do want to give you a little bit of good news about resident camp. Heidi and I met and had an interview this morning with a writer of a magazine about resident camp this summer, where the Girl Scouts will be featured, and I'll keep you all up to date. So people are taking note of what the Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois is doing. So speaking of fund development, let's talk about fund development. Fund development includes individual giving, foundation giving, corporation giving, contributions, grants, as well as income from special events. And we just finished up a beautiful gala this past weekend honoring Diane and Rick Seamer from the Effingham area. And so just to give you how much money fund development has raised this year, as of July 2023, the Fund Development Department income totaled $1,034,673. Now, that is the end of July. We still have August, September to go. The fund development budget was $1,125,000. Now, this includes employee retention credit. So the gala did very well. I'm not quite sure what all the numbers were there, but the fund development is sure to surpass their budget this year. Something that you all have been asking that we are going to be doing this coming year, and that is the Fund Development Department is working on doing an event in another area of this council. And we would love to have your help on this initiative. National Convention. Now, you all know that we had a wonderful national convention in the beautiful Orlando, Florida. The National Convention was a great time, and I don't want to get into so much because I'm going to call on Jennifer and Kaylee. I'm going to turn it over to you all, and y'all can give us an update on the National Convention.
All right, I'm going to go first. I'm going to cover what we voted on and what the votes were, and then Kaylee can give you more of the fun stuff and the experience from her perspective. So both of us served as delegates in 2020, and this was a much different experience, I will say that, because we were there in live and in person and not sitting in our dining room on Zoom for a whole weekend. So let me, just like I said, I'm just going to go over what we voted on and what the vote was for each of the proposals. So the first one was a big one, and it was kind of, in my opinion, I might be a little biased, but in my opinion, a no-brainer. So we have set up, we voted and approved to set up a Girl Scout Gold Award Scholarship Fund at the national level. So that was approved and will be moving forward. So you should be seeing more information about that before long, hopefully. There was another change that was approved, and it has to do with the timing of when councils receive their allotment of delegates. So it was changed to at the 2-year mark, 2 years prior to the next national council session. The councils will receive, based on their membership at that time, 2 years prior, they will receive their allotment and be told how many delegates so that they can start planning and not have to make changes at the last minute like they did. There was a proposal for the to have council representation on the national board. That was defeated. So there is no council, there will continue to not be council representation on the national board. There was also an amendment to change the formula for how delegates are approved. That was also defeated. There was a amendment allowing the possibility of virtual attendance at the National Convention and for special sessions of National Convention. It was divided. So one of the things that when the proposals were presented to the delegates, we could divide it and vote on separate parts of it. So part of that was approved, and part of it was amended to limit the board's discretion regarding virtual attendance. So basically, it's a limit, and of course the goal is that everyone will still attend National Convention in person. The DEI RJ language was changed. So How it reads now, the diversity, pluralism, and anti-racism, how it reads now, it says Girl Scouts advance diversity, pluralism, and anti-racism, and actively identify and oppose racism by removing systemic barriers to participation in our movement and in the communities in which we live. So basically the anti-racism wording was added and was slightly amended from what was originally proposed. The last proposal was there was a proposal to change the amendment in the law, and it was defeated. So it was divided. We voted on each individually, and both of them were defeated. So that's the rundown of what we voted on and the changes. There is, of course, a document with more detail than what I ran over. So if you have not received that, Ashley can send that out, I'm sure. But I will hand it over to Kaylee, and she can give you more of the fun stuff rather than just the business.
Hi, I'm Kaylee. I'm Jennifer's daughter. This was like such a fun experience. Like it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I was a delegate in 2020 as a girl delegate, and this year I served as an adult delegate. So it was definitely cool to see the differences. And now that I'm a troop leader in Central Illinois, I have very different perspectives than I did then. And like I kind of feel like I have an in-between because like I am 20 years old, so I just recently was a girl member and now I'm an adult member with the troop. And so I definitely really valued everything that I learned from this experience and just like being able to like meet so many new people. Like we met people from every state. And like I got to meet some really nice ladies from Alaska, which I think was the coolest. They told me all about that and I just was like it was so cool. And they talked about their like they were older too, and they talked about all their years of Girl Scouting, and it was just so cool to connect. I met so many like girls that were there, and during the process, you can like go up and debate the different amendments and different proposals. And there were a few times that I went up and stood in line, and I met so many girls that were so passionate about Girl Scouts, and like even just standing in line, even if they didn't get to say like what they wanted to say in the microphone, like I got to talk to like there were these two girls from New York that talked or tried to talk almost every time, and they were so well spoken, and you could tell it was like written by them, and like you could just see their passion for like making change and like making sure that Girl Scouts is like an amazing place to be. And like just seeing that just like made me feel so good that like there are still girls, and they were older girls, which that's what most of the girls there were that were delegates, and that's something that like you don't see a lot. And you saw so many older girls there, like you normally don't see that many older girls together. So it was just a really fun experience. It was at Disney too. So like that was really fun. We stayed at the resort. AJ and I would go swimming at like midnight, even though the pool's closed at 11, and stuff like that. That was really fun. And just like the experience overall was really amazing. The resort was so like, it was awesome for us. And like, they were all so like accommodating for anything that Girl Scouts needed, and the food was pretty good too.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer and Kaylee. I will say that the delegates that you all voted on to go to the National Convention represented the Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois very well. And Kaylee is talking. She got up and she gave her spiel on diversity, equity, and inclusion with very much passion. So be proud of your delegates. They did an outstanding job. It really was a great national convention. Now let's move on to the next thing is I want to talk about is the Girl Scout Experience Fund. And I will tell you all that so far this year, the Girl Scout Experience Fund, that we have spent $33,360 on the Girl Scout from the Girl Scout Experience Fund. And I want to say thank you for that. But the Girl Scout Experience Fund has a committee, and they're always looking at things and how we can make it better. So I want to say that currently It's a maximum of $300 per year for both individual girl requests and for full troop or service units requests. The lodging is something that I keep hearing, and I will tell you, I've been to a lot of camps this year. And the one thing that I heard from just about every camp I went to was a transportation barrier. Lodging, travel accommodations, and meals are not currently reimbursable. However, funds can be requested if all expenses are inclusive for Camp Torquil reservations. So I would love to hear your feedback, and I'm sure the Girl Scout Experience Fund Committee would love to hear your feedback on what you think, you know, as far as the Girl Scout Experience Fund and how we are utilizing these funds. And so please give us your feedback. Continue to use it. $33,000 is good. It's better than last year. We're using the money. The board is very happy that you're using the money, but continue to get the word out, because the board wants you all to utilize the Experience Fund. That's what it's there for. At this time, I think, Jessica, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can give us the wonderful news about our Voices Counts survey.
Thank you, Loretta. So we have received all of our Girl Scout Voices Count survey results back. We're still digging very deep into them. We're very thankful for each and every one of you who did take the time to provide feedback on your Girl Scout experience, what you enjoy, what opportunities the staff have to serve you better. We do take these results to heart and look to take action on any topics that we can work on. And share the successes that you have shared with us with the rest of our membership. One thing that's overwhelmingly clear is that the impact that the local participation has on a girl's experience at that troop level in their community is the strongest determinant in her satisfaction in Girl Scouts. So your work on a service unit level and on the troop level is how they determine if they will return and whether or not they will tell others to join the movement. So thank you for all of the work that you do in your communities to make sure they're having the very best Girl Scout experience. There are some ways that we can improve, and we will be diving right into work on that. Overall, we're doing a good job of working together very well, but please continue to engage with your local community engagement managers and service unit managers to give feedback on how the council staff can support you better in your role. Volunteers tell us that your reason for staying is that you want to make a positive impact on your community, and I also want to personally thank you for that. You've also shared with us some constructive ways to improve the experience, and we'll be working with program and with service units to collaborate on the best ways to provide resources and tools better to help serve you right there in your community. Now for our girl members, the reason we're all here, the number one reason they are sharing for a girl actually leaving is that a girl doesn't have a troop or group to participate in. Although we're seeing a huge uptick in our adult membership, and that's awesome, this tells us that we need to work harder to convert some of those adult members to trained and supportive leaders to make sure that girls have the leadership they need to continue that local experience. This also speaks to the importance of the troop catalog, or the online participation catalog, you might hear it called, that space online where girls can put in their zip code and find troops in their areas to participate in. This speaks to the importance of keeping that up to date, and we depend so closely on our troop leaders and our registrars in each community to help make sure that that information is accurate as we go into every membership year. Thank you for those that continuously provide the updates to make sure that that main avenue for girls finding a troop is open and available for them to use. I will say that 96% of our girl respondents are satisfied with their Girl Scout experience, and 84% of them are already telling us that they're looking forward to next year in Girl Scouts. I want to say again, based on these results and many more that we're diving into to understand and uncover ways that we can increase our helpfulness in your community, it's what's driving their commitment to Girl Scouting right there in their local troop experience. So again, thank you. I can't say that enough. And I believe next on our agenda, I'll move right on. I think it still stays with me, is I want to give you some important dates to mark your calendar for, and you'll see these on our calendar on the website as well. So if you don't get a chance to scribble them all down, don't worry, they'll be there for you. Number 1 is happening in 10 days, and I can't believe it. It's already here. September 23rd is the official opening to our fall product program, with all of our nuts and candy and magazines and so many great things. That begins in person and online again, September 23rd. I encourage you to reach out to your local Daisy leaders that maybe it's their first year, and share with them what a great opportunity this is for them to start earning money, their girls to earn money, to do activities and events and supplies and all the things that they need to run their first year troop. Next, November 4th is Fall Fest at Camp Torquay. If you didn't make it there last year, you missed a great event. We had such a great time. That's happening again November 4th. It did sell out last year. Registration is live right now. So go out there, get registered. We can't wait to see you out there on November 4th. Next big date I want to share with you is January 20th. That's Cookie Go Day. That's cookies in hand, and girls are out there participating in the #1 female-led entrepreneur program out there, January 20th. April of 2024 is when you can look forward to our annual meeting with an even bigger and better, I don't know how it's possible, but volunteer summit. If you didn't get to stay after annual meeting last year for that piece, I encourage you to check that out and make that a priority on that day while you're already with us, and join us that day. We don't have the specific date, but I just want you to be looking for that coming for April. Next, May 19th. May 19th is the date that's set for Recognition of Excellence. You know what that is, where we recognize our adult awardees and our girls who have earned the very highest awards that they can in Girl Scouts. May 19th, that will again be in Mount Vernon at the Doubletree. As Loretta mentioned earlier, June and July, there will be 2 full weeks in June and 2 full weeks in July where girls can come join overnight resident camp. There will also be day camps going on all around us. If your service unit is interested in holding a day camp, reach out to us. We are happy to walk you through that process and bring local day camp in the outdoors to girls in your area. As I'm talking about all of these exciting adventures, I also want to talk a little bit about travel opportunities. Traveling in Girl Scouting is an invaluable experience. There are individual, domestic, and international travel experiences happening throughout the year at a national level through what's called Girl Scout destinations. If you don't know about destinations, write that word down, Google it, check out the national website. We have scholarships at a local level available for those opportunities for individual girls to travel everywhere from China to, I saw one for Hawaii that I was looking at earlier today. Incredible adventures for them. Here at the local level, we are going to be celebrating summer at Holiday World and Splash and Safari next June, and that's June 20th through the 23rd. Join us as we celebrate, like I said, summer. We're going into fall, but we're thinking about next summer in Santa Claus, Indiana. It's a 4-day, 3-night trip, and we'll take a bus to Holiday World, stay at the Sun Outdoors Lake Rudolph Outdoor Resort, enjoy 2 full days at Holiday World and Splash and Safari, and on the last day, round up the trip on the way home to a visit to Lincoln's Boyhood Home, National Memorial Park, and Visitor Center. We also are busy planning a Washington, D.C. trip for next year. More information will be available as we firm up some of those details, but I just wanted to let you know to have that on your radar coming up for next summer. Okay. Speaking of travel, I just wanted to shout out a group of girls and adults that had been waiting for 3 very long years as their trip was originally scheduled in 2020. And you can imagine what happened to that. The council trip to Costa Rica, that happened this past summer that we just are winding up. and they got to go on this trip they've been waiting for. They explored, they went on a crocodile river ride. I think Ashley has pictures. Yep, she's got them up. She's so good. They went on a crocodile river ride, to a canopy tram ride. They attended a cultural exchange with Monteverde high school students, hiked in the rainforest. They swam in the Pacific. They did a night swim at the hot springs. They enjoyed a chocolate workshop and even visited a coffee farm. I was jealous just looking through all of the pictures. Those girls had a trip of a lifetime. They also met up with the Girl Scouts of Central Illinois, who were on the same trip, and were able to have some really wild adventures alongside some fellow Illinois Girl Scouts just from our backyard. So I'm very excited to tell you they had a wonderful, safe trip, and they're looking forward to many more adventures. And I am constantly seeing on their social media page, looking for ways they can already have a reunion together because they had so much fun. All right, well, that wraps up the Costa Rica portion. Loretta?
Okay. All right. Well, now is your time for questions. But before I open it up for your questions, we did have one question to come in for this meeting, to be addressed at this meeting. And Jessica, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this question was talking about why is one of the program costing $50? Is that correct, Jessica?
That's right. It was specifically about a journey day and just really how that, why that cost was $50. And I can share that, everyone knows, I think across the country, supply costs, facility rentals, administrative costs, they've all increased across the board. And that's just a fact of the place we're in today in the world. Facility rental when applicable, because we do look for opportunities to rent places at no charge, but if it is applicable to that program, that is included in the fee that we have to charge. This specific event is a 4-hour event. So if you break it down, it's about $12.50 an hour for the entire event, a place where girls will earn their entire Between Earth and Sky or Wonders of Water Journey Award. And if that cost is prohibitive, because we understand that it could prohibit some girls participating, and that's never something we want to encounter. But I want to remind everyone, not only do we offer the Girl Scout Experience Fund, which please take advantage of that. That's there for your girls that our board has put in place to utilize. So thank you for them doing that. But also, in addition to that, you can also apply for financial assistance. That is a confidential process that we will walk through behind the scenes and make sure that that you get what you need based on, there's some guidelines we follow to determine the percent you get discounted. And then we add that Girl Scout Experience Fund on top of that. So it can be as little as like $12.50, if not less, for that specific program. If you have any questions about the funds, the Girl Scout Experience Fund or financial assistance, just give us a call. We're happy to walk you through it step by step. We never want that to be an issue.
Yeah, and I just want to add to what Jessica's saying. The board of directors, we all know that when the board sold these camps, they wanted to position this council so that every girl have the Girl Scout experience. That's why we have the Girl Scout Experience Fund. The board of directors has positioned this council very well to make sure that every girl have that Girl Scout experience. So I encourage you, as Jessica said, to utilize those resources. They sell cookies. That helps them with whatever programs that they want to go to. She mentioned the financial assistance. This council is very well positioned to make sure that every girl who wants to come to an event can come to an event. The board made sure of it. So I just want to, hopefully I answered that question. And at this time, I'd like to open it up for any of you if you have questions.
I do see a question in the chat, Loretta, if you don't mind if I address it.
Please.
Someone was saying, I'm new to this. When we do camps like this and trips to Holiday World, is it girls only or are families welcome? And I will say it varies based on the travel program and the event. But they are specifically outlined when you go to our website to register. It will let you know who is invited to come on that. Some of our trips will welcome families or parents, and some of our trips will say, you know what, we really want this to be a girl-focused activity, but we are taking applications for however many chaperones we need to fulfill girl to adult safety ratios.
All right, again, opening it up, and I want to mention Debbie. Debbie, you look like you're not feeling the best today. You're in our thoughts, and anyone else that's catching this nasty thing that's going around, you're all in our thoughts. And thank you, Debbie, for taking the time, even though you're not feeling good, to be here with us tonight. Any other questions? This is your time. If there is no questions, I will like to say thank you again. I see that we have several board members. I will take an opportunity if any board members would like to say anything. I will give you that window right now. So if you have anything, just raise your hand and we'll call on you. All right. Well, thank you all again, and we will continue to, as I always say, you guys make me the very proud CEO of the Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois. Those numbers that Jessica gave you from national says a lot about what you are doing and the work that you are doing right here in Southern Illinois. Keep up the good work. You guys have to know there is no way this organization will survive without all of you. So thank you very much for doing your part for the Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois. Good night.
Hey, Loretta, would you stay on for just a minute so I can talk to you?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'll wait till everybody gets off.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.